Hi, this is Clayton Skinner. Hi, I'm Clayton Skinner. My name is Clayton Skinner. My name is Clayton Skinner. Welcome back to Beyond the Beat.
Welcome back to Beyond the Beat.
Welcome to Beyond the Beat.
Hello everybody, my name is Clayton Skinner and welcome to Beyond the Beat. In this episode we are going to be doing quads, but a different type of quad. We're going to be doing quads with 4's and with 2's. So it's not really quads, it's quad-esque, because it follows on the same dynamics, follows on the same example as your typical quad. So anyway, so what that means is we're going to be playing the 4's with our hands, 1, 2, 3, 4, following it up immediately by 2 hits of the bass drum. 1, 2. And that can be done with 2 feet or it can be done with 1. I'm going to give you demonstrations with both 2 feet and 1 foot. Now, to break Beyond the Beat tradition, I'm going to actually give some explanation before I do the demonstrations. Typically, I always forget. So, just like the regular quads, there will come times where you will have to figure out a specific resolve for each of these. With the quads, typically the reason is because the last 2 hits in the bar would be a bass drum hit, and if you want to start the next bar with a bass drum hit, that means you have to add another do-do-do in order to get started with that next bar. So you could do it like that, and there will be demonstrations with that, and then there'll be demonstrations with kind of like an improvised resolve, where you just kind of whap, whap, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, psh. Either one is good. I suggest you practice both of them, so let's get started with number 1 first. So number 1, we can consider that the easiest of all of them, simply because when you add 4 and 2, you get 6, and number 1 uses sextuplets. So sextuplets are when you play 6 notes, or you divide a quarter note by 6. You could also call them 8th note triplets, but I prefer sextuplets. So the entire exercise, or the entire pattern, can be played within 1 quarter note's value. So if you have the metronome set to a quarter note, basically you're doing it with the pulse, which makes it a lot easier. And I suggest you start doing this very slowly and then gradually build your way up. Now, just like regular quads, you don't want to go too fast, because when you go too fast, it sounds like crap. So I'm going to give you a demonstration of number 1. I'm going to give you a demonstration with the natural resolve. The natural resolve is where you play the exercise in its entirety, and you end it with like a psh, and then you go into the next bar. And then I'm going to show you with kind of like an improvised, made-up resolve, where I'm just ba-da-dum, boom, 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 psh. So pay attention for both of those, and check out number 1. So now we're going to be dealing with 16th notes. 16th notes changes the game completely, because 16th notes are typically grouped in 4 notes. Where the sextuplets were grouped in 6, so you could complete the entire pattern with each beat. In this case, you can't really. But the cool thing about the 16th notes is that it actually allows itself to resolve by playing 1E and with your hands, 2E with the feet, and 3E with the hands, and with the feet, and then 4E and it leaves you 4E and with the ability to end the fill with the cymbal, going back into the next bar. So that has its kind of own little resolve. If you look at the example that I wrote underneath the main example of exercise 2, you'll see that if in order to do like the complete pattern, you have to start it on like beat 3. It takes 1.5 or 6 beats to complete the whole thing, 6 quarter notes. So unless you're playing a bar of 6/4, you're not going to be able to play the full pattern, but that doesn't really matter. So anyway, try playing the main pattern, and I'll demonstrate that. But also try playing the way it's written underneath, where you're starting the beat on, you're starting the fill on beat 3 of the bar, kind of like how we did with the 2-beat fill. Go 1 and 2, and then you do the thing for the rest of that bar, and then you do a full bar after that. But anyway, here's a demonstration of the main exercise of exercise 2. Exercise 3 deals in 32nd notes. 32nd notes will have a similar situation or similar pattern structure as the 16th notes, only this time we'll be able to fit more into one bar. This also creates what's called a 4/3 counter rhythm. It's not technically a polyrhythm because you're only playing the counter rhythm, you're not playing the basic pulse as well. The basic pulse will be played by the metronome, so together I guess you're playing a polyrhythm. When played properly, the first three beats of the bar that you're playing with the metronome, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, will have the 4 played over top of it. It follows a very similar structure as the Herta video that I made, involving playing Herta's 4/3. And then what we're going to be doing, similar to that, is we're going to be resolving it on 4 with just simple 16th notes. To make this interesting, you can also flip it so that you're playing the 16th notes on beat 1, and then starting the counter rhythm on 2, which will then resolve it into beat 1 of the next bar. So anyway, here is exercise 3, the main exercise. Just as a quick demonstration, we'll be playing the 4 and 2 again with 4/3. Anyway, check it out. So if you're looking at the PDF, underneath the main exercise of number 3, I actually wrote out what it would look like if you would repeat the pattern after beat 4. So rather than resolve it, like we did in exercise 3, you start on beat 1, you finish the initial pattern, the 4/3, at beat 4, and then you start it over again, which will then take you to beat 3 of the next bar, you start that over again, it takes you to beat 2 of the next bar, then you start it over again, it takes you to beat 1, which then of course is full circle. So within that 3 bars, you've done the 4/3 pattern 4 times. And I suggest you work on that. Mastering that or understanding that will affect your timing. Like your timing will be amazing if you can do that. And it's a lot of fun. It's totally worth it. You can add this stuff to almost anything. You may get a look here to look at, here or there from certain members of the band being like, oh, what are you doing? You can't do that. This is country music, blah, blah, blah. Do whatever you want. The only thing, again, that's holding you back is the tempos. Each one of my demonstrations had the tempos written out. The slowest tempo I did is obviously not the slowest you can go. The fastest obviously isn't the fastest. After you get to a certain speed, it sounds like crap, so you don't want to go too fast. And if you go too slow, it becomes incredibly awkward. So really, you need to understand what tempo you're playing at each song so that you can throw out whatever you need to do. And each one of these 3 will cover a certain tempo range. So play with it, figure it out. It's fun. Trust me, it's worth it. So that's all for this video. If you want to get a hold of me, contact section at claytonskinner.com. You can do it right here on YouTube. You can do it on Twitter. You can do it on Facebook. I hope to hear from you. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.